What's happening, y'all? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Yes, indeed. Giving y'all this reaction of mine of Ray Lewis calling out Shannon Sharpe. And Shannon replies, as he should have. And I'll never understand, which I really honestly never would understand, is why Ray Lewis came out on, the PBD podcast and said what he said about Shannon when all it took was for him to make a phone call to speak on it. And to me, in my eyes, you're doing the same thing you're trying to say Shannon Sharpe does. But I'll let y'all hear yourself instead of me trying to go verbatim of what he says. And like I said, this is off the PBD podcast that he did an interview on. Check it out though.
I'm shocked at his content. I would, in a million years, the things that Shannon has said now or did now, I would never believe that Shannon would say or do any of this.
Like what?
Simply, I take drinking. Shannon, in my entire career, I've never saw Shannon with a drink. Ever. Like it was against the law, right? Because he had some stuff in his family that he didn't want to follow that. And then so I kind of started to watch him, and then we kind of went our own separate ways because I'm like, you're going to take that route. I can't go that route. Never can go that route. And that route is to become so worldly that you become popular because you're talking about ignorance, right? A lot of times, a lot of these gossip conversations that they're having and bringing up all this stuff, I'm not going to do that to nobody. I'm not in the business for that. I'm in life to try to teach people what does it mean to be a better man or get back to the kingdom, and a lot of times
anything that happened in Baltimore from 2000 and 2001, if I tell it in my story, I can tell it in my story because I was there when Ray went through what he went through in Atlanta. I was there. I was picking him up from the courthouse. He was living with me in my basement. So if I want to tell my story, right, that I should be able to include that. There are a lot of people taking your shot at your boy.
Come on now.
Y'all can have it. Y'all got it. Y'all got me. It's all right.
Yeah.
It's okay. We're going to be all right, OJ.
Yeah.
That trivia say we're going to be all right.
Yeah, I could have told you that. I can tell you that. I've been telling you that.
Yeah. Everybody want to pile on. Everybody jump on now. Hey, we got him down, Ocho. We got him down. The best time to, hey, let me get my lick now.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody want to get a lick now because when your boy was doing good, even here, a lot of people didn't have a whole lot to say.
Yeah.
Hey. I feel Shannon. I swear, out of all, and I'm not gonna act like he's did some suspect things, because he have did some suspect things, and he did some things to where you question, if he was in better words on the correct side. And I'm only saying that because I'm a heterosexual man, okay? But nonetheless, regardless, Ray Lewis, you are saying the same thing, or basically doing the same thing that you're saying Shannon Sharpe does. You're talking about this man. You're literally talking about this man, okay? And I'm not going to say it's ignorance because it wasn't ignorance, but you were talking about the man. When all you had to do was pick up a phone and call him. If you had that much to say and you felt that way, all you had to do was pick up a phone and call him. You said yourself that, hey, Shannon Sharpe had already knew that this is what he wanted to do when he got out of football. This is stuff that he already wanted to do, so it's not a shock that he's doing it. And it shouldn't be a shock to you that he's doing it. It shouldn't be, because he doesn't talk about people. He's not talking about people. He's interviewing people. There's a big difference. He's interviewing people. And to be honest with you, a lot of people put that Christianity stuff in front of their negative and false ways. A lot of people does it. A lot of people does it, okay? I'm not trying to knock you, Ray Lewis, at all. I'm not. I don't. But hey, a spade is a spade. You got to call it what it is. You clowning that man and you talking bad about that man, but you're doing the same exact thing by talking about him. Okay? You're doing the same thing. The same thing that you're saying he started to do, and that's why you stopped hanging around him. And you stopped conversating with him. But you're doing the same thing now. And then on reverse, I can feel Shannon on what he said, okay? When he was up and popping, when he was doing his thing, I didn't hear nobody say anything really about him. I definitely didn't hear Ray Lewis say anything. I didn't hear Ray Lewis say not one thing about Shannon Sharpe. Especially in the way that he said what he said on that PBD podcast interview. I didn't hear him say anything of that nature. I ain't never heard nobody say nothing that he said about Shannon Sharpe, period. Let alone heard anyone say he said anything like he said in that interview. So you tell me, is you only saying that because he down now? Is you only saying that because he going through the situation with that woman? Is that why you saying this now? Just like everybody else coming at him because he's down, because wasn't nobody coming at him when he was up. When he was making all that bread, wasn't nobody coming at him. You can't fault him for doing what he did, you know what I'm saying? Because he got paid heavily to do what he was doing. And he wasn't talking about people. He wasn't talking about people at all. And then you talked about him with the liquor thing. But come on, man, you talking about the brother. You talking about him. And not in a good way. You should be congratulating that man for his success. And if you had something negative to say, all you had to do is pick up the phone and call him. Period. That's all it was. That's all it should have been. Anything that you went publicly saying about him, you should have been in congratulation to his success. That's it. Because this right now, hey, you see, what you're doing right now actually is a bad image for you. Because you ain't hurting Shannon in no way. You can trust and believe that, okay? You ain't hurting Shannon in no way. If anything, you gonna get the bad end of this. You are. Because Shannon doing his thing when it comes to this podcast stuff. He doing his thing. You can't take nothing away from him. He doing his thing. He's doing his thing when it comes to this podcast stuff. And you can't hate on what he's doing because this is stuff that you clearly said that you knew he was going to do. And this was when y'all was playing football. So if you knew he was going to be doing this, you already knew what persists in doing these podcast interviews. You already knew that. And he's not being ignorant, or how you say, the ignorance of it. I don't recall him being ignorant in anything. He cracked jokes. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of his jokes is funny. You know what I'm saying? Now, for real, I can't say I've heard him say a joke that wasn't funny. Okay, I'm not gonna sit and say that, because he said a lot of things that's funny to me. Be outside of people clowning him. Now, yes, he did some suspect things. He did a lot of suspect things for sure. But you can't knock him on that podcasting. You can't. You may can say some things about outside of that, but podcasting, no. And as far as it being ignorant, no. No. He's doing what he said he was going to do, and he's doing what his podcast pertain in. And that's interviewing people and asking questions that an interviewer would ask. Simple. You know what I'm saying? He's not going below the belt. He's not getting people on his podcast then asking questions that, they don't want him to ask. He's not doing none of that. He's not doing none of those things. So, man, hey, to me, you trying to get some clout. To me, I'm not gonna say what nobody else thinks. And I'm not speaking for nobody else. I'm speaking directly for me, from me, and how I view it. It looks like you trying to get some clout, man. That's the way I see it. Now, I'm about to end this, but I'm going to replay it so y'all can see what I see and hear what I hear, and tell me what y'all think. That's what I want to hear. I want to know what y'all think. Because to me, it seems like he trying to get some clout. Okay? And using the aspects of, his Christianity, because I definitely believe in a higher power. But it feels to me like he's using that as that's something that Shannon is doing wrong because of that. And I think that's messed up. I think that's messed up to use that as a reason of why you stopped communicating with Shannon, or at least saying that's the reason why. Because I don't feel that's the reason. Because I don't feel in no way nothing that Shannon is doing is so foul and disrespectful to anything or anyone. And I'm gonna play more of the interview, or from the beginning of the interview of the PBD when he was on the PBD podcast, so y'all can hear clearly him saying that he knew, and this is before Shannon was doing the interview Club Shay Shay, and then he went on to do the podcast with him and Ocho Cinco. I can't remember the name of it right now, and it slips my mind. But regardless, you're gonna hear Ray Lewis say that he was already talking about it before it happened, so he knew that it was happening. So I don't know why all this animosity came with it.
Shannon Sharpe, did you think he was one day going to be a good TV guy personality?
Yeah.
So you knew he was made for TV?
Yeah.
And would he say he's going to do it? Or
Yes, he had already started prepping.
how much before he retired did he
He'd
tell?
been started.
Oh, so he's known he's going to be doing that?
Yeah.
So you're not surprised by the success he's having with his podcast and TV and
No.
him and Skip and Stephen A, all that stuff?
No, I'm not surprised. I'm shocked at his content. I would, in a million years, the things that Shannon has said now or did now, I would never believe that Shannon would say or do any of this.
Like what?
At his content. I'm surprised. I'm shocked at his content. I would, in a million years, the things that Shannon has said now or did now, I would never believe that Shannon would say or do any of this.
Like what?
Now, y'all tell me, was that something that he could have talked to that man to man, over a phone call or face to face, either way, but he shouldn't have went on the interview talking about that? Now, y'all, give it to me straight. What y'all think? Is that clout chasing? Is that to me? Because y'all talk a lot about me trying to be clout chasing. Okay, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing reactions to videos. Okay, that's what I'm doing. Okay, that's it. But y'all tell me, is that clout chasing to y'all? Is that? Because he didn't have to say none of the things he said, and he said a lot more, which I've already played. But he didn't have to say none of those things. He didn't have to at all. All of those things could have been said to Shannon Sharpe if he felt that way. And even if he said those things to him, okay, even if he said those things to him, because I don't believe in any way that Ray Lewis is a coward. I don't believe that in no way. I don't believe him, but I don't know the man either. But regardless, he could have said those things directly to that man. He didn't have to try to down him. He didn't. And like Shannon said, in that first tape, with Ocho Cinco, like I said, when he was up, he didn't hear none of this. When he was up, he didn't hear none of this. Not just from Ray Lewis, from anybody. It wasn't too much of anybody saying anything about Shannon when he was up. But when he started going through his issues, hey, it seemed like everybody started coming out the woodwork trying to take their jabs. Hey, You gotta respect that because hey, he calling it what it is and he's seeing what it is. That's just like I hope Shannon sees Ray Lewis, okay, for what he is because that's low to me. That's low. That's low. That's some real low shit right there. That's low. For a man to talk down about a man that he called his friend. I'm not about to talk down about you, and if I'm gonna talk down about you, it definitely ain't gonna be live for everybody to hear. It definitely ain't. It definitely ain't. That's real talk right there. But y'all tell me what y'all think, and y'all tell me how y'all feel, and if y'all feel that Shannon was clout chasing. I mean not Shannon. If Ray Lewis was clout chasing, throwing the jab that he was throwing at Shannon because Shannon was down, because he wasn't saying these things about Shannon until this stuff started happening to Shannon. He wasn't saying it beforehand, and it's not like the stuff that he's talking about wasn't happening beforehand. That's why I replayed that part from the beginning when it was like, okay, he knew that Shannon was going to do what he's doing before he even got out the NFL. So I think that's real messed up. Me personally, I think that's real messed up because a lot of Shannon's interviews, especially on Club Shay Say, is very, very revealing. Okay, as far as what's going on in that person he's interviewing in life. So I don't see what was ignorant about that, or what's ignorant about the things that he's doing. I don't see in no way, shape, form, or fashion. He got the right. He can crack jokes. That's what he do. He's doing that for a reason, to get more views, to get people interested in his podcast. And right now, he's the top of the top. He's on the top. So you feeling like you hating a little bit to me, man. I'm just keeping it real. You feeling like you're hating a little bit to me, and I know you're gonna put that guy first, and you know all of what you did and all of what you say and how you got your beliefs and how you wouldn't disrespect nobody and all this, that, and the third. Man, hey, that has nothing to do with disrespecting nobody at all with what he's doing. He's not disrespecting not one person or making one person look bad, not one. So like I said, it looked like you, hey, it look like you hating, look like you hating, brother, look like you hating because if you felt that way and you was gonna say it publicly like you doing now, you should have been said it, should have been said it. But anyway, y'all share, like, and subscribe. Peace. I'm up out of here.